and empower the child of God. Each book is a valuable tool for Christian growth. Purchase your copies today wherever books are sold. Available electronically as well as hard copy. For more information, visit www.stephaniebooks.com. That's www.stephaniebooks.com.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Winning Ways podcast with yours truly. I'm your host, Stephanie Solomon, and welcome back to another Monday. I hope that you are enjoying this day, the only day, every day actually, that the Lord makes. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I choose to rejoice in it, and I hope that you do too. Well, if you are new to jumping on live here, you're on the Facebook end. You see me looking all around because I'm just looking at people jumping in and out. But if you're on the Facebook end or the YouTube end, welcome. If you're on the YouTube end, do me a favor. I need you to hit that. I need you to hit the subscribe button. Yeah. And I need you to share and to comment. I'm trying to grow my community there, and that would be great if you could do that. If you're new to the podcast, I've been podcasting since 2010, and it's been about a year now that I've been on YouTube trying to grow my community on this visual side of things. And I am teaching from my books. That's what I do. There's always a wonderful topic to talk about. And I also teach from my experiences as a life coach. Well, tonight I'm coming from my second book, Living with the King. And I'm coming from the chapter Fresh Start, False Start. And some of you will notice I was in it the last episode as well. This is the beginning of the year. And oftentimes the beginning of the year, people make New Year's resolutions and they want to start something new and do something different. So today I'm going to talk a little more about what a fresh start could have, ought to have, and how sometimes we, so to speak, get stuck into a false start. And I have a guest tonight to help with that thought. She's been through a lot personally. She's a businesswoman. So she has some business sense and experience behind her. And she's qualified and certified to talk about starting new things, starting things fresh. She's also qualified to talk about when things go awry and how to start again and how to avoid some pitfalls. And that's what we want to cover today. So I want you to welcome my guest today. Her name is Miss Phyllis Brewer. There she is. Phyllis, how are you?
Hello, Miss Stephanie. How are you? I'm well. I'm awesome. A busy day today.
Oh my God. Yes. Very busy. And do a little background to my guest here. Phyllis and I met at I'm not sure if it was a conference or a bazaar, but we met somewhere where we were both vendors. And then we ended up being at another event where we were vendors again. And it was years later, someone recommended her to me. And they kept saying, you probably know her. And come to find out, we had been introduced, through our vending experiences. And one thing has led to another. And we got a chance again to participate in an event this year that we both participated in previously. It's the UC Star Awards. It's for line dancing. And we were a part of that. And I do want to share some aspects of that too as well, because Phyllis did a wonderful at with her fashions there. Phyllis is a businesswoman. She has a boutique with great fashions. We're going to talk more about that at length in the broadcast as well. But Phyllis, welcome to
Thank
Winning
you
Ways.
so much.
Well, Phyllis, tell the audience, first of all, I'm going to get this out of the way, the name of your business, who your target audience is, where your business is, how individuals can reach you and connect with you.
Thanks, Steph. Let me just say, first of all, thank you so very much for this opportunity. I'm humbly and grateful that you allow me to be a part of your podcast. So, as Stephanie shared with you, I am Phyllis Brewer. I do own a boutique in the Pikesville, Maryland area. And the boutique is located at 1709 Reisterstown Road, Pikesville, Maryland. We are in Suite 105. And it's interesting that you ask, who are my targeted audience? All of you are my targeted audience. So right now, currently, I have a women's boutique. I do have few items for men, but I mainly carry women apparel, fashions, accessories, you name it, from size small to XXL. And some of my XXL ladies can go into a 3X, but predominantly that's the size that I carry at the boutique. And been in business for quite some time, since the early 90s. And so I am just so excited. And in fact, when I said most of all of you are my targeted audience, because if it's some men out there, which I know it is, you're probably wondering, why don't you have men clothing? Well, that's because I'm in the market for expansion. So I'm looking for something bigger so that I can carry men fashions and apparel as well.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. I put down the name of her boutique, which is Trivation. It's on the scroll. And by the way, can viewers check you out on social media? You have a website, social media, any of those? I just want to get all of that out of the way on the front end.
Yes, I appreciate it, because I'm sure they're asking, especially from the fashion show. So on Facebook, you can reach me, or my platform is Trivation by Phyllis, all one word. And on Instagram, I am Trivation. I do have a website. It's currently under construction. However, if you go on the website right now, and that's www.trivation.com. It's not a buying website at the moment. It's actually a landing page. But you can go out there and you can see exactly where I'm located. And it does have information on there. But I'm telling you, if you get on that Facebook page, it's some great entertainment on there, as well as Instagram.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. All right. Talking about the fashion show, I am telling you, that was amazing. It really was. Good evening. I believe that is Jackie. Hi, Jackie. Thank you for jumping in. Yes, fashion show was absolutely amazing. And I'm going to show parts of it. I didn't upload the entire thing. It was too much. StreamYard couldn't handle it. So what I did, I put it on YouTube. So for those of you who want to see other aspects of the event, the UC Star Awards, it's a line dancing event. You can go onto my YouTube page, but I'm going to pull up some snippets here from the event. And I'm telling you, the energy in the room, oh my God, the energy. Here we go. snippet.
Oh my gosh, it's so totally awesome.
There was one more part. I had to break it up into parts.
Oh my goodness. Awesome. Nice.
Yes, 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 yes. I
Very
was so
nice.
the energy, the energy in the room was amazing, amazing. So you are an organizer, obviously. So tell us how, as an entrepreneur, looking at all of this, I saw different facets of you. And the more that I'm in your presence, I see different facets of you. I see organization, I see management, I see enthusiasm. I see so many aspects of one who I would think, if you are not just in a business, but you want to start anything, must have. Share with individuals out there character traits that one must have to start anything. Anything, because at some point this was a fresh start for you. So, what must one have? Not just a business, but anything. Whether it could be a weight loss program, what are the components of a fresh start, Phyllis?
Mhm. So I will say, to me, a fresh start would be finding your purpose. So, in finding your purpose, that to me is the key, because once you know your purpose, you know how to operate, and then you'll know how to navigate. And then you just and I'm so in tune to God says, write the vision and make it plain. And so anything that you start, it's important to put it on paper. So once you put it on paper, then you have to show up. And when I say show up, that simply means, what is the project? What is it that you have to do? What is it that, so you're asking yourself these questions. And so as you ask yourself these questions, you're going to jot it down on paper. So once you jot it down on paper, then you begin to pull things together. And whether it's to open up a business or start a fashion show, you have to reach out. You need people, you need a team, because you just can't do it all alone. And so I would say the biggest key is just finding out what it is that you have to do, writing it out on paper, and then just put action to it and just make it happen. And just be true to yourself, whether or not you're comfortable with doing it. And once you're true to yourself, I think that you can just branch out and move from there. And hopefully I've answered that pretty thorough for you.
Yeah. Were there any times in your start, though, that there were hiccups? Because life has hiccups. Things do not, we know that. Things don't always go according to plan. What did you do when you got hiccups? Because some people literally stop, and some people don't start because they are afraid of hiccups. They are afraid of those. What do they say? The best laid plans of mice and men often go astray. There are people, well, you know what? I don't want to know what the astray part is, so I'm not even going to try. But you obviously did, because you are where you are now. But I'm sure that journey wasn't perfect. So tell us about the times when you had some stumbling blocks, some hiccups, and if you don't mind, what they were, and what was your reserve like? What did you find to get you back on course again?
Well, first of all, failure is not an option for me. So I refuse to allow myself to be a failure. I'm going to keep trying and trying and trying and trying until I'm successful. That's my personality. That's who I am. And you may not be that person out there, but quitting is just not an option in order for you to be successful. And again, here it is. I'll talk about really quickly the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, the businesses had to close down. So as a result of that, I'm thinking to myself, okay, my business closed down and I left my 19-year nursing job. And I say all that to say, because at that point, well, what's going to happen? How are my bills going to get paid? How are things going to keep going? Everything is shut down. Well, you know what? What I had to do, I had to go to God, and I had to tell him and lay out my situation. And I said, God, I trust you in the midst of this. Guide me, lead me, direct me, show me. So for me, going back to God and asking him what to do, and all I could hear him say was, where's your faith? So at that point, he began to give me direction. The boutique closed down, but as I just shared with you, quitting is not an option. I brought every single thing from my boutique home. And when I came home, I pretend and fixed up one room in my house and made it as if it was my boutique. And so I began to navigate and began to go on live, go on Facebook, go on Instagram. And so those things helped me to stay afloat of my purpose. And so again, how did I manage through all of this? I really had to put my trust in God. I had to lean on God, and I had to depend on him. And anytime failure seems as if it's going to come my way, or it has come my way, I just trust God, because he is the one that can make all the difference.
One of the things I hear in your story is that you showed the ability to pivot, which was a buzzword during the pandemic. People were talking about, we got to pivot to stay afloat, to stay alive. We have to pivot. You also showed the ability to adapt. I find that this is where many people fall short. And like you said, for you, failure is not an option. And I think that there are people out there who want to believe and receive that, but it's just the fear, fear, insecurity, and all of that. Oh, is overwhelming. And they don't see themselves able to adapt to a scenario of life that they didn't even imagine as part of the process. When you think about your process with the business, what did you realize about Phyllis that you brought into it? Because I can say you are enthusiastic. Have you always been that way?
So yes, I am high energy, and I find myself being an encourager. Like, I enjoy encouraging people. I enjoy being that light. It hasn't always, it hasn't been easy for me at all. But at the end of the day, I found joy in encouraging other people. And so my energy is extremely high. Even when I'm feeling tired or don't even feel like doing anything, I muster up that energy. So yes, full of energy.
Yes, because I watched your Facebook lives as well as your Facebook lives mostly, and you're in the boutique, and you are excited about your product. How important is that for someone? Let's stick to the business end of it.
Okay.
The potential entrepreneurs out there. How important is it that the innovator, the creator, the owner be excited about their brand, about their product?
So energy is everything. Energy is important. So if I know my product and I love my product, and if I'm trying to introduce you to my product, I've got to come with some energy. I have to bring that energy, because just like I have this shirt on, you may say, oh no, too many colors, too many stripes, and you have a bow there. Well, I've got to encourage you and show you how you can do this bow, how you can tie it to the side, how you can take the bow off. So it's my job, my responsibility to allow you to see yourself in it. And once I've done that, I've captured you, because you're going to be ready, set, go, because you're going to say, oh, I want to look just as nice. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I really do, your personality matches what you do, definitely. And there are times we see people in lanes that it appears they don't belong in. There doesn't seem to be a fit, with the personality and what they are doing, So for you, that's a great thing. What advice do you have for individuals, male, female, because you said everyone's your target audience, so it's good to hear. What advice do you have for individuals entering any space, whether it's real estate, whatever? What advice do you have for them entering that any space?
So, I would say do your homework, number one. Do your homework. Make sure you have all the information, the knowledge that you need to get started. And networking is key. Networking is key. So it's important to network. And it's okay to ask questions, because you never know who. And so it's important to ask questions. And I know for myself, no matter where I am, I'm going to find a way to introduce Travassion's Boutique to you. It may be a pair of earrings that you have on. It may be a pair of shoes that you have on. Some kind of way, I am going to get Travassion's Boutique out there. The other thing is, if it's a product that you have, wear the product. If you're
Mm,
into selling homes or buying homes or starting that industry, you have to go out and look at homes, look at model homes, find out how you can brush your skills up and
mm.
to elevate yourself to the next level. I think that that's very important.
Oh my goodness. Woo, you're really mentioning things that have been mentioned in previous episodes that have led up to this, especially that elevating of oneself, personal development, self-development. I think we can never get too old for that. We can never get beyond that because even I like to look at the History Channel and look at documentaries on people like Lee Iacocca and other people
Mhm.
who we
Sure.
call them titans, and they never, as old as they were, these were old guys. They never stopped learning about what was happening currently in the world,
Yes.
how the world was changing, and how their product could be relevant for where they were. The other thing you said is interesting. You said earlier on in the show, you talked about showing up. What do you mean by that?
So, showing up is really, really important. If you have an assignment, if you have a task, you have to go to work, it's time for church. No matter what it is, you've got to be there. So when I say show up, be present, be ready, be prepared, and don't let nothing stop you from showing up. Like tonight, we had to show up.
Yeah.
We were scheduled to be here. Nothing could get in our way. And
Mhm.
so you have to be present. If you
Absolutely.
say you're going to do it, if you
Mhm.
say you're going to be there, get there, and show up.
Yeah, that's so hard for a lot of individuals, though, especially when whatever it is desired is pictured.
Mhm.
It's a mental picture, and when that mental picture doesn't manifest, I mean, people are using that word like crazy these days, and that reality doesn't come to fruition, a lot of people just don't know that they have options, and they don't know how to pivot, or that they can pivot, and that they can actually thrive in situations that look barren. Have you
Mhm.
ever been in a situation where, business wise or personally, you were thriving in spite of your surroundings that didn't match up with your aspiration?
Um, I, I guess I want to say yes. And the reason why I say yes, and sometimes using this scenario could be a little tough, but I know when I was caregiving for my mom, I had a
Mm,
business that I had to run. I had a 9 to 5 job, and I had to also take care of mom. And there were times that I had to be at the boutique or maybe perhaps be at work. And I just wasn't available to show up. I had to set boundaries and I had
mm,
to balance what I had on my plate. And it was tough because oftentimes I was told, you've got to move some stuff off of your plate. And I'm like, how can I
mhm.
move any of this off of my plate when it's all important? So I
Wow.
began to prioritize things. And so that's what helped me out the most when I felt like I just can't show up for everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's being aware. That's being self-aware. You know, you're aware, excuse me, of what's a necessity, what's there, and what you're even committed to. You know, how do you take care? Hi, Claudia. Hi, how are you? Thank you. Thank you. Claudia says she so agrees with you. Um,
Mm, thank you.
when we think about that whole piece of being self-aware, creating boundaries, things like that, I'm trying to look at the comments and so I'm getting okay, she is. Yeah, and creating boundaries, being self-aware. What do you do for soul care? Because you know you're human, and for some people, having a lot, what you do, they can't feeling. You know, some people just aren't. They may desire it, some don't. Aren't wired, aren't built the way you are, high energy or whatever. Some people have high energy, but may commit themselves to only two things. That's their boundaries. What do you do for you as you roll in your lane? What do you do for you for your soul? So that I know you mentioned about elevation, personal elevation. What do you do for your soul? And how important is that for anybody starting
Mhm.
something new? Whether it's a marriage, whether it's a business, whether it's a
Mhm.
ministry, an organization, a service. What do you and do you recommend self care?
Yeah, so I 100% recommend soul care, self-care. Self-care is so important because when you take care of yourself first, you're able to offer to others. So if the inner is not taken care of, you become depleted. And so for me, especially um at the boutique, let's talk about the boutique, or just
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
talking to the ladies that come to the boutique, or someone may see me and just want to have a conversation. um you have to replenish yourself, because when you pour out so much of you, you have to
Mm-hmm.
be replenished. How do I replenish myself? And again, getting in my word, spending quiet time with God, um, going to the gym, exercising, getting my nails done. Even in the midst of all of the things that I do, I still make sure I am a priority, because
Mm.
I know that if I don't feel myself, I don't have anything to give anyone else. And if
Yeah.
I don't have that, then I'm not able to be productive in the
Yeah.
things that I have to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That is so important because as you talk, I hear a lot of you're you're into helping and giving to others, but you're very in tune with Phyllis. And I think a lot of
mhm,
times people have false starts is because, like you said, they don't do the research. You know, they don't have a plan and know what's, you know, about what they're getting into. Um, but they are not pay. They don't pay attention to themselves. You know, I
mhm,
had an awakening during the pandemic. I was listening to a song by Mary J. Blige, and you know, she sings "Good Morning, Gorgeous," and there's a part in there where she says, "I wasn't always gentle with me." That hit me like a ton of bricks. I wasn't
mhm.
always. I think she says I wasn't always careful with me or kind to me. I think she says that too. And I tell you, that hit me like a boulder
Mm.
because it set me down, and I'm like, I've done this, that, and the other, but I consider myself one who at least tries and works at taking care of herself. But
Yeah.
as that hit me as a boulder, the Holy Spirit just had these flashes. It wasn't to make me feel bad or anything, you know,
Mhm.
but he was showing me how I really have not. and in ways that, it's not always the physical things, just in what I allowed, what I allowed to be spoken to me, what I allowed not to be spoken to me. And it was just flashes. And I said, oh my goodness, fresh start here. That will, and I think oftentimes people have a false start because that soul care piece is neglected. When we don't take care of ourselves, as you said, and don't pour into us, it's hard to really give, especially on the level that you give of energy to people. People feel energy. I often say people can feel our energy in our words. No matter what kind sentence we say, it's the energy behind the words. And even what we do, there's energy behind it. And I believe that energy comes from how we elevate ourselves or not, what we pour into ourselves or not, what we are open to, and what we're not open to. Phyllis, we can talk forever, as we know we can. We can go on and on and on. But
yes,
I really wanted, the audience to see someone who's walking the walk, talking and walking all in alignment, and you work really hard. You really do. And you put forth a lot of good energy in what you do, and with your collaborations, and with your networking as well. And I am very thankful that our paths have crossed. I tell you, I see people jumping on, and I do want to say, please, please, please share. I know this is on Facebook. It came up as an event. So I need you guys to share it on your pages, and continue talking. Thank you. Thank you, Lady Jackie. I mean, let me read so teeny. Okay, put my glasses on. What did she say? Interesting conversation. Thank you, ma'am. And you had Reverend Third Wife. She wasn't the fast, wasn't she?
Yes, she
James,
was.
Lady
First
James.
Lady. Yep, First Lady.
Yes.
Yes, she was.
Yeah. It was good to see that man. It was.
It was
nice.
It was
nice. Anything you want? Go ahead.
Yeah, it was so exciting. Speaking of Yawanya, she came down to assist behind the scene. And when she came up to me, I was like, oh my gosh, you have our new bling high-low hoodies on. And so my husband and I, we just started doing the high-low, the bling, the hoodies. So she came rolling in there and she had it on. I said, come on, be ever so ready. Let's go. Hop in here. It's going to be your turn. You came at the right segment. So she said, I don't know. I don't. I said, you got this. You got this. And again, going back to what we were sharing, I encouraged her, and I hyped her up so much. So, honey, she went down. She rolled down that runway. She slayed, and she just did her thing. And do you know, after that, they were lined up at the table. They wanted those bling hoodies.
Wow.
Everyone did such an amazing job, but we sold out of the bling hoodies. And I have to share, we mailed out to 7 states and 11 different zip codes on her modeling that bling high-low hoodie. That particular outfit.
Because I'm looking like, because she and I had talked earlier. We ran into each other and we were chatting. So I'm looking like, that looks like, well, no, that's not her. But then when she turned around, I said, that is her. Oh my God. And she flowed like that was her element. She did it all the time. It was
Yes, yes,
it was
yes.
a lot of energy, and you made it happen. You made it happen. I'm going to have you leave us on this note. How important is organization? Because I watched you as the models flowed. They all seemed to enjoy what they were doing. They knew their place. I was at the door, so I saw them come and leak. I saw them, come in and out. The flow was easy, easy. How does one get to that point when you're working with other people? Because a lot of times when people want to, as you said, we need people, we need a network, we need a team.
Mm-hmm.
Relationships is very important. So what do you
Mm-hmm.
have to share also to someone starting, whether it's like, again, a marriage, a business, an organization, whatever? How important is it to not just network, but to be able to relate to people?
Yeah. So interesting that you asked that question. Communication is very important. And I received a list of names of the UC Star dancers that was interested in the fashion show, as well as I had um, my models as well. And so we all collaborated together. And when I say communication, you know, being an organizer, you have to make sure that you cross your T's and dot your I's. It's not going to always go perfect and it's not going to always go right, but you just have to remain calm. You have to find a sense of peace in the midst of any chaos. I'm not saying we had chaos because we didn't. It flowed just well and wonderfully, and it was great. But sometimes starting up a new business or going into a new marriage or coming out, it could be a lot of chaos. So you have to remain calm and communicate and find out with all the parties involved, are we good? Are we okay? Are you
Mhm.
comfortable? Is it anything that you need? And that's what I went back and forth, back and forth. And again, having a team, I was able to have some people at the table. I was have some people in the dressing room. So everybody had an assignment before we got started. The models knew what they needed to do. They knew the categories. They knew exactly what they were wearing. And the teams just branched out and everybody stayed in their lane. And with that being said, it all came together and everything was great and wonderful. I had a lovely time. And again, I wasn't able to do the fashion show last year, and they had a wonderful fashion show. And I'm thinking, oh my God, are they going to have me back? And they said yes. So because they had me back, which I wanted to come back, and I'm grateful for being back. So thank y'all so much for having me back. I knew I had to bring it. I had to bring it with everything in my being. I had to pull out all the stops because not that I wanted to make an impression, but I knew they gave me another chance to be back there. And so
Wow.
with that, I wanted to leave it as well as I could possibly leave it. And I knew with the help of God, in anything that you or I do, we have to seek Him first and make sure that everything is lining up. Once that happens, it's all good because He now has control over it. So when things step out of line, seek Him and pull it right back in. So that's what I want to leave you all with. Thank you so much for having me. Again, join our network pages, join and subscribe right here on YouTube. Hit that button, share, 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 and make sure you tag others. It'll be on StreamYard, it'll be on Stephanie's page. So, again, make sure you stay connected. and join the platform of Trivation by Phyllis.
Awesome. Yes, Trivation. Let me just put that banner back up there for her. Yeah, that was Trivation. Yes, yes, yes. We thank you so much. You said so much. I was going to piggyback off of, but time is of the essence here. But I want to say thank you also, not just to you for agreeing to do this post event after the after event. We see that truly all things work together for the good of them who love God. All things. We actually lived out thriving in the midst of, and things don't have to be chaos, but not going our way, but we can still thrive. And I can say that there's some thriving going on here. So I want to also say thank you to Claudia, who actually brought us together. And thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Jackie. Brought us together. Yes. And I want to say thank you also to the organizers, because things were moving so fast, didn't have a chance to really say thank you to any of them. I believe it's Trish, Mike, and I don't remember some of the others, but I saw them working out in that back room, stuffing sweatshirts, t-shirts, and bags and things. They are workers. And I just want to say it's wonderful to be a part of this organization. It's 15 years in. This was the 15th year. That's a long time to be at something, and I'm sure they have a story to tell too. That's a thought. I wonder if they would be willing to come on and talk about us. But that's a thought. 15 years. I'm sure this 15th year didn't look like the first year or the 5th year. But they kept on, and I'm sure there's stories behind how they have evolved over the years. But yeah, I'm just glad also. This was my 3rd time being a part of it, and each time I'm just impressed by what they all do. So it's very different, and I understand it gets bigger and bigger. And I'm sure there are other people out there who are into line dancing, and you just said you had different states coming up where you were actually sending things merchandise to. And so there's states that are represented in this, well, it's not a conference or convention, but this event. So so it's something to be a part of. You just never know. So it's fun. You get to meet different people and create new relationships. All right. Well, thank you, Phyllis. This has been wonderful. We did it.
Yes. To God be the glory. Again, as we said, failure is not an option, and quitting is not an option. So
on either end.
I'm grateful.
On either end.
Yeah. Yes.
It would have been so much easier to say, let's not do this. No, the devil is still a liar. And the Lord
and he was defeated.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you. And thank you for all of you who joined. I saw people coming in, leaving hearts, leaving comments. Thank you so much. Just do me a favor and do Trivation Boutique a favor. Do Phyllis a favor and share this link, please. It's on Facebook and YouTube. So it's going to be posted on 2 platforms. All right. So share, because this is not, thank you. This is not just it tonight. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Phyllis.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Steph.
Absolutely. So we'll see each other again, I'm sure. Well, thank you, listeners, for tuning in.
I'm sure. Real soon. Real soon.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, everybody. It's been a great day, a great Monday in this neck of the woods. To God be the glory. Everybody have a great week. Until next week, Lord willing, I'll see you then. Take care, everybody.